come to you. We thank you for your goodness and your grace, Lord. Thank you for this time that we have to come and discuss the matters of this city, Lord. We appreciate, we love you, we thank you for Smith Station and what it means. Lord, may we be just listening to you and the guidance that you provide to us. We pray for our state, we pray for our nation, we pray for our military, Lord, and those that are serving our country. We just ask for safety upon them. We pray for their families. Lord, we pray for those that are suffering right now, Lord, with sickness and health issues. Just be with them. Lord, may we just continue to live our lives that are pleasing to you. In your name we pray. Amen. Salute, attention, play.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I call this January 25th, 2022 City Council of the City of Smith Station to order. The time is 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Thank you, Mr. Green. Can I have a roll call vote to establish a quorum?
Yes, sir. Mr. Stringer?
Here.
Mr. Jackson? Here. Mr. Lanston?
Here.
Mr. Cooley?
Here.
Ms. Green?
Here.
Mayor Copeland?
Here. Reviewing the minutes from the January 11th, 2022 meeting. Hard copy is located visible. Are there any additions or corrections? Motion to approve. Ms. Cooley, can I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Green? We have a recommendation from the planning commission to approve the annexation petition request for rezone of property located on at 651 Downing Place. Could you please introduce it?
Yes, sir. This recommendation comes to the City Council from the Planning Commission's January 4th, 2022 meeting. The Planning Commission of the City of Smith Station recommends to the city the following: to approve the annexation petition and pre-zone the following property R1 residential. Owner Icar Morales, property location 651 Downing Place, Lee Road 227, tax parcel ID number 43240100010001.000. Proposed zoning R1 single family residential. Total acreage plus or minus 2.93 acres. Signed Dave R. Wood, Chairman of the Planning Commission of the City of Smith Station.
At this time, I open up the public meeting. Notice for public hearing testimony. You are testifying before a public body. Each member of the City Council of the City of Smith Station is a public servant. Any false statement made to a public servant for the purpose of acquiring benefit may be prosecuted as provided in section 1310.19 Code of Alabama, 1975. Is there anyone here that is to speak on this zoning or pre-zoning or annexation for the City of Smith Station?
No one's on that.
I'll close the public hearing.
Mayor Copeland,
Yes, sir.
I make a motion that we suspend the rules and ordinances for, so that we can vote on these issues that come before us tonight.
Mr. Cooley has made a motion to suspend the rules and ordinances. Can I get a second?
Second.
Mr. Lance, any discussion? You shall carry on. We'll have a roll call vote.
Yes, sir. Mr. Stringer?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Lanston?
Yes.
Mr. Cooley?
Yes.
Ms. Green?
Yes.
Mayor Copeland?
Yes. Resolution 2022-452. An extension for the contract with Mr. Larry.
Sir. Resolution 2022-452, a resolution for the City of Smith Station, Alabama, authorizing Mayor Copeland to enter into a contract with Lawrence Larry Park as the Parks and Recreation Manager of Facilities for the City of Smith Station.
You've heard the introduction. Mr. Larry Hart, making a motion, second.
Motion to approve. I'll second.
Mr. Jackson, Mr. Stringer. Any discussion? Larry been with us for a long time. He does a wonderful job. He opens and closes the park, keeps it clean out there. I've never been out there and seen trash, except after the holiday. He does a wonderful job. Any other discussion? None being brought forth, I call for the vote.
Mr. Stringer?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Lanston?
Yes.
Mr. Cooley?
Yes.
Ms. Green?
Yes, but I do think we need to go back in on the contract that says February 1, 2020, expires 2023, so that's our.
I'll fix that. Some more. Thank you for noting that.
Yep.
Excuse me, could I ask a question here?
Yes. When it's your turn to speak again.
Okay, I don't know, I mean, I'm going through this pretty fast, I don't want to get past.
Mayor Kirkland.
Yes. All right, 2022-453, enter agreement with Wayne Gentry Builders for Island Road, Lee Road 296 improvements.
Resolution 2022-453, a resolution for the city of Smith Station, Alabama, authorizing Mayor Copeland to accept the bid and enter into a contract with Wayne Gentry Builders for Island Road, Lee Road 296 improvements.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Don't be so late. I would like to say that this is a state-funded road with Rebuild Alabama money. It's also been bid out, probably by the proper chain of command. The bid come back at $136,000 and some change, to pay the Island Road or 296. This has been on our radar for 3 years. And, we get probably the most complaints about this road. And so, I will challenge you to make sure that we check street limits, because once it's paid, it all of a sudden comes daytime.
Yes, sir. Understood.
Any other discussion?
Do you have a time
I
frame?
would say we do not know the time frame because it's back at the state right now for it to be finally approved that we did proper bid.
I didn't get to mention it during work session, but it was approved.
Okay.
The only step between y'all approving it tonight and getting started is a pre-construction meeting with all the parties involved, and that may take 2 to 3 weeks to schedule. But I'll be sure to keep everyone abreast of that.
The roll call vote, please.
Yes, sir. Mr. Stringer?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Langston?
Yes.
Mr. Cooley?
Yes.
Ms. Green?
Yes.
Mayor Copeland.
Yes. Item 2022-454, enter an agreement with Robinson, Grimes and Company, PC, for audit services.
Resolution 2022-454, a resolution for the city of Smith Station, Alabama, authorizing Mayor Copeland to enter into an agreement with Robinson, Grimes and Company, PC of Columbus, Georgia, for audit services.
May I get a motion second?
Motion to approve.
You do know we had an audit that was, given to us on the 11th meeting. We had an unmodified opinion with 12 months of operating expenses, and we were shown to have a good, shown to be good stewards of the citizens' money. With that being said, we changed audit firms to get a fresh audit, and so it will be progressive. We were locking in on a 3-year term with them. That way, the way inflation is, they won't be able to go up on us to be locked in. So I felt like this was very prudent to go get an auditing firm in for the next 3 years, with that. Any other discussion?
Yeah,
Yes, sir, Columbus. Right over there by where the old Outback used to be. I don't know what that road is, it cuts through there that goes to Whitesville Road. Yeah. Any other discussion? I'll be brought forth by call for the vote.
Yes, sir. Mr. Stringer?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Langston?
Yes.
Mr. Cooley?
Yes.
Ms. Green?
Yes.
Mayor Copeland.
Yes. We know we-
All right, here we go.
Item number 10, zoning ordinance amendment 2011-075.53, pre-zoning of property located at 651 Downing Place.
Yes, sir. Zoning ordinance amendment 2011-75.53, an ordinance of the city of Smith Station, Alabama, amending zoning ordinance 2011-75 zoning map to reflect the rezoning of the property belonging to Ecor Morales to R1 residential single family.
Need a motion second?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? R1, pretty simple. There's already a structure there, correct?
Yes, sir.
No discussion, I call for the vote.
Yes, sir. Mr. Stringer?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Langston?
Yes.
Mr. Cooley?
Yes.
Ms. Green?
Yes.
Mayor Copeland.
Yes. Moving forward. Item 2022-184, annexation of property located at 651 Downing Place.
Yes, sir. Ordinance 2022-184, an ordinance of the city of Smith Station, Alabama, granting the annexation petition from Janet Phillips and Ecor Morales, requesting a tax parcel 4324010100.001.000 be adopted pursuant to the provisions of section 11-42-20 of the Code of Alabama 1975 as amended, providing for assent by the City Council of the City of Smith Station to the alteration and rearrangement of the boundaries of the City of Smith Station, and assenting to the annexation of certain lands into the city limits of the city in response to said petition filed by persons owning all the land area of the lands annexed and approving such annexation.
Give a motion second.
Move to accept.
Second.
Ms. Cook? You had two names on there that you mentioned. And now, those two names are both of his signatures on this form.
I can explain that. This fellow started the annexation process and sold the property to Mr. Morales. They closed on it today.
You have
So,
both signatures.
yes, I have her petition and I have his petition. She started the process when she was still a property owner. And she let us know just a couple weeks ago that she was selling the property to him, and he just turned in his petition today. So we're good on everything.
Add something that I know it's gotta be a separate answer to.
Yes, sir.
Why didn't we rezone before we annexed?
I've been asking that forever. It doesn't make any sense to me, but that's the way the state of Alabama requires us to do it. We have to zone it before we annex it in. It's almost like we shouldn't be able to zone anything that's not ours.
That's right.
But that's the way the state of Alabama does it. So it's the backwardest thing I've ever seen. So we have to zone it first and then accept it into the city.
Every annexation we have to submit the changes to utility companies, government agencies, and our local mapping group through Lee Russell Council of Governments, who creates our zoning maps. And all Caldwell is currently zoned R1, so this was,
I
Those
just think
be
outside the
zoning.
box.
Yeah, it's backwards. That pool area at Caddy, that used to be a pool that's closed in now, is that all one bit?
as far as I know, yes,
I
sir.
know it was agriculture.
No, it's in the city limits.
Okay. All right. Have a roll call vote?
Yes, sir. Mr. Stringer?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Lanston?
Yes.
Mr. Cooley? Yeah. Mayor, Ms. Green?
Yes.
Mayor Copeland?
Yes. Moving forward to our financial statement. P&L statement.
Alright. Go everyone, turn to page 1 of our December P&L sheet. Oh. Okay. You want to show us on waivers or general fund? Okay. All right, is everyone there? Okay. All right, starting on page 1, our total ad valorem tax income for the month of December was $125,261.11. Total business license income was $20,263.00. Gas tax distribution was $6,848.54. Planning and zoning fees were $5,819.00. Total property rentals were $4,543.22. Move over to the second page. Wholesale gasoline revenue income was $13,651.60 for Love's, and then our other wholesale gasoline revenue was $2,523.52, bringing our total wholesale gasoline revenue income to $16,175.12, bringing our gross profit for the month of December to $239,825.43. Move over to expenses at the bottom of the second page. Total administrative department expenses were $52,030.54. Over on page 3, our total finance and revenue department expenses were $13,668.45. Our total parks and recreation department expenses were $20,297.62. On the last page, page 5, our total works department expenses for the month were $10,972.63, bringing our net income for the month of December 2021 to $141,776.60.
I'd like to draw your attention to the first page. Below total property rental. If you look there, it sales and use tax. That is all Christmas shopping that would come in for the month of December. Buying online, so that's kind of substantial. We always like to notice that in December. Works. I get a motion second to approve
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right.
Dockery is not here tonight, she had an errand she had to run, she's not here, so Mr. Ross is here.
Maybe ready for the solid waste. All right, our total income for the month of this, well, actually, I'm sorry, the quarter report here for solid waste. Total income for the quarter was $115,127.31. Total expenses were $111,284.48, bringing our net income to $3,842.83 for the quarter of October 2021 through December 2021.
The motion is second to approve, the motion to approve.
Yes.
At this time, I'd like to, do you want to read your?
Yes, sir. Ms. Cole, are you going to come up to the podium to speak? Okay. All right. Well, ma'am,
Now,
I just got to read this quick statement to you for all the speakers tonight. You may come to the podium and state your name and address, before voicing your concerns or questions to the mayor and city council for City Ordinance 2020-173, which established bylaws for this current city council. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes each, and I'll be in charge of keeping time and notify you when your time is concluded. You may begin.
first of all, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak to you. I just would like some information from the city on that hard subject to hear yet again, sewage for Cow Valley subdivision. I know y'all hear it, we hear it. I'm one of the acting board members of our association. I hear it on our Facebook account. Just curious, I have to get it from the horse's mouth because I don't like rumors. So I've heard all kinds of things in the last 2 weeks. Is there an opportunity for us to ever get sewage in Cow Valley? I had somebody say this week that they were told by a council member, don't know who it was, didn't ask, that would never happen. But we have another person who says, there's a chance. So I just want to, present it to you. If you have never had feces come up in your shower or a toilet that doesn't flush for 5 days after a hard rain, you would consider this. We have a child in our neighborhood who won't go to the bathroom in her own house because the toilets won't flush. So, sorry, I so apologize. Phew. I just wanted to present it, have it on the record, if there's an opportunity. If y'all could share that with us, we would be more than happy. I do know that we were told that letters went out to everybody in the neighborhood. We have over 100 residents in Cow Valley, 110 to be exact, 9 of which are vacant. I know that neighborhood like the back of my hand. I know a lot of us that didn't get the letter. So if there was a letter, we didn't see it. So there were some that did get it. They said they got it. So if there's an opportunity, I'm just presenting it. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Ms. Stein or Mr. Hagan, are you speaking on the same situation?
And,
Okay, Ms. Stein? Okay. All right, I'd like to address you, Ms. Cole.
Oh.
No, you should have, I'll address you there. I'll get there. The letter we sent out in 2019, and I'll read my rebuttal to the citizens of Cow Valley. Dear Cow Valley subdivision residents, on May 8, 2019, the city of Smith Station reached out to you and your neighbors for feedback regarding sanitary sewer installation within the Cow Valley subdivision. The city sent 110 letters with a survey attached. Of the 110 mail, we received 59 surveys in return, which is a return rate of 53.63%. After calculating the results, the majority of Cow Valley subdivision property owners stated they were not in favor of supporting sanitary sewer installation. The city must weigh all options prior to engaging in a project of this magnitude. The city's fiduciary responsibility extends to all citizens. Within the survey data, the city cannot justify going forward with this project at this time. Until further notice, the city is postponing further research and development regarding sanitary sewer construction and installation of the Cow Valley subdivision. The city will continue to explore all options of this vital piece of infrastructure throughout our city. And that was the letter, and I don't mind giving you a copy of it. But to answer your question, the city itself does not own any sewer or water. At that point in time, I was approached by the Andy Morris and the board for the water authority that they were going to run a truck line down to JR's. And we were going to look into maybe putting a 12-inch, but they went up doing a 6-inch to supply Terry's, I think the dog parlor there, and JR's and Midway Baptist Church. They run it to support those. That truck line is not big enough to support Cowday subdivision. So to answer your question, you're coming to the wrong board. I challenge you as the mayor, I challenge you to get on the board's agenda, just like you did us. They have a meeting, I think it's the first Monday of every month. Call tomorrow and ask to speak to Andy Morris. And tell him that you want to be on the agenda and tell him exactly what you just told us. And then they can probably reconsider that. I would love to help in any way. I'll put my support behind it. I'll write a letter. But as far as the city's investment, at that period of time in history, we're going to try to get an ADECA loan or an FDIC loan or something to help y'all, because that breaks my heart. My good friend Mike, and there's a lot of people in there, my friends, but I went to Mike Kane's house one time and his backyard was literally coming up. But then there's people on the third road, there's 3 roads there. The people on the third road would come up to me personally and say, we don't want sewage, and they'd fuss and yell at me about wanting to do it, because it was going to be a responsibility of, at that time, $5,500, $6,000 per person. Now it's probably $8,000 to $9,000 per person. So we did our due diligence, and it's not our responsibility at this point in time, but I will help you in any way we need help with, and this whole council will.
And I didn't get the name, I didn't write the name.
I'll write it.
Ms. Cole, I can follow up with you after the meeting, I'll give you a call, and I'll get you all the contact information from folks over there.
That wasn't even what I came for, but it just hit me. But I would ask while I was here. So, and just for clarification, did we pass the annexation or did we not?
We did.
Okay, I thought so, I just wanted to be sure.
And that, and I can't legally talk about other things, but that is a huge deal for Cowday.
Yes,
Huge.
yes, that's
Huge.
what I'm here for,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Ms. Diane Stein.
All right. Diane, I'll just read this as you come up to the podium. You may come up to the podium and state your name and address before voicing your concerns or questions to the mayor and city council. For City Ordinance 2020-173, which established bylaws for the current city council, public comments are limited to 3 minutes each, and I will be in charge of keeping time and notifying you when your time is concluded. You may begin.
Okay. The reason I'm here is because I got a letter of response from the city attorney, which was from the city. It had some inaccurate and misleading information, so I better read quick. On November 23rd, 2021, the Ms. Mason City Council discussed my request to be reinstated in order to complete my vesting with the retirement system of Alabama in lieu of filing an EEOC charge against the city with federal court. After the council concluded their closed door session, city attorney Rick Chancey spoke privately with me and my husband. He stated, I have an offer for you. He added that he needed to confirm some things with the RSA before giving me the details, but due to the Thanksgiving holiday, it could be Friday or Monday. The next day, I emailed Mr. Chancey my RSA current record showing that I had 9 years, 10 months, 2 months needed for vesting. And then after that, let's see. However, he left the deadline, Rick Chancey. Then I asked Mr. Chancey for the offer details as promised, but he said he needed more time. We discussed my concerns over the deadline to file the EEOC charges, to which he was aware. However, did not let them know. I did let them know that I would not file charges due to our verbal agreement, which I accepted in good faith and trusted the city to honor theirs as well. After that, there was no significant response to the emails from Rick Chancey. Until he called me on December 14, 2021. He told me that the city offer was to pay me out a lump sum, one lump sum, but that it would not qualify towards retirement vesting, and that the only option was to work the hours needed. I then offered to do that, adding that I might likely need to work reduced hours due to health issues. Mr. Chancey was to speak to the mayor and council and get back to me. However, after speaking to the RSA retirement counselor supervisor, Heather Knowles, she confirmed that in writing that paid leave in the form of paycheck every 2 weeks would qualify for RSA credit and enable vesting, for which I could complete in 2 full months. This was my original option I asked the council to consider on November 23rd, 2021. I then supplied this information to Mr. Chancey, along with the city's administrative leave with pay policy, showing that everything was in compliance with both the Citizen Station handbook and the RSA handbook. Almost finished. In addition, as mentioned in my request, Mayor Copeland and I have a verbal agreement signed allowing me to complete my vesting with the RSA before retiring from the city. In closing, because of the offer promised me by the city, which I received in good faith and accepted as a binding verbal agreement, I kept my word and chose not to file the EOC charges by the deadline. I am only asking that the city make good on their promise and obligation to present me with a viable offer in which I would achieve retirement vesting, as I have agreed to work the hours needed or be given paid leave by the city who has now chosen to allow me neither option.
It's not, are you almost finished? You've gone 35 seconds. So
Okay.
you're done.
I just want to say your consideration of this matter is appreciated.
And I will address the Stein, if you stay there, I said that. As the council, we have been advised to allow our attorneys to this situation. We can't rule on anything. When the letter, the day before Thanksgiving, I believe what it was, you sent a letter to our attorney, email our attorney saying that you would sought legal action, and that if he didn't have an answer to you by noon.
No, see, that's not true.
Well, I'll let our attorney contact you, then.
That is the problem, because the letter I received from him had inaccurate information, and I'm concerned that going between me to you, you to him to me, that there's some things there that you all are not getting.
And I think the last correspondence was for you to get an attorney. So I think that's the way we're gonna handle it. That's where we, as a city council, agree to let our attorney and your attorney handle it. Because one of the issues you have an attorney.
Well, that's not true either. Nobody told me to get an attorney.
I'm just going by what the
The
correspondence
Chancey
said.
told me, asked me when he called me back that day, he said, I haven't discussed it with you because I didn't know if you had an attorney. And I said, I don't have an attorney representing me. I said, I had someone in Montgomery that I was going to pay to file charges if you all didn't want to negotiate. I said, but I chose not to do that. And I said, he said, well, since you don't have an attorney, I can speak directly to you. And that's when we had some talk, and he said he would come back to you and ask you about.
And he did that, and we decided to allow him to write that letter and handle it that way. So our last correspondence that you have is our end of correspondence.
So the city, well, I guess we could say it, Alice, bait and switch. The city, I feel like, I guess threw me under the bus, dangling an offer in front of me and then holding out until I agreed to not file. And then you pull back.
You got, your legal right as an American to get an attorney.
You and I had an agreement at one time.
And again, you got a legal right to get an attorney. That's all I'm gonna say. We have all the correspondences between both parties, and there's no real sense in discussing it here. Our last letter is our last endeavor. So if I was in your shoes, I'll get an attorney.
I guess I will.
Okay, all right. Mr. Paget?
Yes, sir.
You can cover the photos, sir. Are you kidding Mr. Keith Paget?
Or I know about it.
He's a fire chief.
I'll go ahead and read you your statement as well, sir. You may state your name and address before voicing your concerns or questions to the mayor and council. First City Ordinance 2020-173, which established bylaws for this current city council. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes each, and I'll be in charge of keeping time and notify you when your comments concluded. You may begin.
Thank you. My name is Michael Paget. Address is 251 Coley Place in Caldwell. I came here tonight to talk about the annexation issue. And, I mean, thank you all for passing that. We really appreciate it. I guess right now, the only thing I need is clarification, if you can possibly give it, on how that allows our subdivision protection from, encroachment from other subdivisions, so to speak.
I know exactly where you're coming from.
Okay?
Is that your only question?
That is my only question.
Okay, you can retire or you can stay there.
I'm sorry.
We realize exactly where you're coming from, and I have a member that is on the planning commission that is here, Ms. Green, serves as our liaison to the planning commission. We understand where your citizens of Callahan are coming from. We don't need another 100 cars, another 50 cars, another 80 cars on that road. And my motto is people over profit. And that's what we gotta look at. So the planning commission will make sure that doesn't happen. And I challenge you, are you adjacent to this property owner?
I'm not.
You're not adjacent.
I'm not.
Do you know who's adjacent?
Yeah, she couldn't come because they're doing a ring ceremony tonight.
No, that's fine. I just wanna make sure she gets a letter from us in the mail.
Yeah, she already got the one and she couldn't come to that meeting either.
But if you get that letter, Mr. Baxter, if you get that letter, Ms. Cole, you need to be here. You need to be here and voice your opinion on behalf of that. I'm not saying they're not gonna try. I'm not gonna say that he's not gonna try to do whatever.
Financially, it's in his best interest.
Yeah, so, but you gotta have your head on a swivel. But I can tell you, I can't speak for Ms. Victoria Green, but I know she's not in favor of that either. Am I right, Ms. Green? Correct. Okay, so, I'm with you wholeheartedly, and I don't think it needs to happen. It would add a lot of undue stress in Callahan as well as stress on our roads that we pay for as a city, or y'all as citizens. So, I'm in your corner, and I'm not saying the fight is not gonna come, because it probably will. So, but the planning commission, to answer your question, the planning commission will fight that fight. So, if she gets the adjacent property on there, whatever you're getting is to be here, sign in and get their 3 minutes and speak to the planning commission to say we don't want this.
Okay.
And the planning commission will be the one that'll stop any kind of, so if they wanted to go buy that and go C1 commercial, and they wanted to go agriculture with changing their zoning, it would come before the planning commission. But legally, they can't do anything now with this property owner was R1. They could sell the house, or they could give a right-of-way through there, but the right-of-way has got to be 60 foot wide. I don't think the lot is 60 foot wide with the structure there. So it's pretty much a done deal unless somebody buys the house and tears it down. And that, I've seen worse.
Well, it can happen. I mean, we're talking about people with deep pockets.
I just want to make sure that my answer to you is keep your head on swivel.
And Mr. Patchen, after, I guess tomorrow, if you don't mind, I'll give you a call and give your planning and zoning administrator's name and number,
Absolutely.
and she can give you more information as well.
Okay.
But we'll be happy to answer any questions that you guys have from over there. But as far as we know, that was the only property that he had to possibly make that easement to that subdivision back there possible.
I rode through there today just to make sure I knew exactly where we were talking about. And from what I can tell, that is the only stretch of land that would be even possibly wide enough to put access through.
And the property owner is wanting to, he's planning on living there full time.
And I challenge either one of you to stick around if you have any more questions.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
At this time, that will close our public comments. We have no one else signed in. I would like to have an announcement. Well, we were awarded an HRIP grant, a DECA grant, for just under a couple of $1,000 under $1 million for the improvements at 28431 Somerville Road, Loves. It's a huge deal. You know, I wasn't very excited 3 years ago when this legislator and the governor put in a 10-cent tax on $7 how it was going to go. It went 7, 8, 9, and then 10. Remember how they stair stepped it up? But that money, they're literally putting that money where the mouth is. And so they're going to improve that intersection. If you're leaving Somerville Road coming to the post office at 8 until 9:30, it's impossible to really go through there. So they're going to widen that intersection, make a dedicated left-hand turn, an extended right-hand turn to get the trucks out of there. If you heard tonight how much money Lowe's is generating for us as a city, I mean, it's some money well spent. I want to thank publicly and on television, I want to thank legislator Randy Price, legislator Debbie Woods, legislator Chris Blackshear for going to bat for us, as well as the governor of the great state of Alabama for going to bat for us, as well as Morgan and Andrew Schleichgood for putting forth a lot of effort in this in this vision that we come up with.
Yes, sir.
It's always good to have a brand and see it fruition, so thank you, guys. Thank you. Any other council member reports?
One thing I want to mention, and that is to, not last Saturday, but Saturday before last, we had the MLK cleanup, and we would like to express our appreciation for the people that came out and helped us during that week. And especially as I look around, all of the council was here. And that shows the mean that, we're interested in our area and keeping it clean as well. The last thing I want to say is, this was laying on my desk when I got here in front of it. And I looked at George and he had one too. And it says, one thing, it says for 20 years of service. And let me take this opportunity to thank Morgan for giving us this pen. And last year was our 20-year of service on this council.
And I
I'll be
apologize.
20 more.
I apologize, we didn't have them at the time we were supposed to have them. Mr. Cooley, you had
15.
15 years. So thank you guys for your service.
Mayor Copeland,
Yes,
just
ma'am.
publicly for the record, I do want to just address to the citizens that I do know there's been a lot of concern and angst about our business license. I've talked to several citizens, you and I've talked, but just for the record and for the public watching, we are committed as a city, as a staff here to get a little more versed in that so that we can help our citizens when needed. We always have the computer up here that citizens can come to get those business licenses. But, in the end, in the long run, this is going to benefit us as a city. There are growing pains when you go from paper to technology. So I just want our citizens to hear that we do hear you. We are working on that, and just wanted to say that.
So thank you. And I will piggyback on that. This morning at staff meeting, and we did have a discussion on that, and we're having a retraining class in the morning at 8:30 a.m. to get the ones that help do that. And a lot of times we're finding out that people don't have the documentation. I did a survey today, and so we're going to get better on that. Thank you for pointing that out. Anybody else? At this time, I'd like to recognize the media, CTV Bean, Troy Gar, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. I'd like to entertain a motion with you.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. Meeting adjourned.